Alright, there's the 41 WLD stroker motor we did. It's now on the bike. So we're here for the first startup and fix all the stuff that's not put together correctly. So the brakes are dragging, there's a clunk in the back chain area when you turn it. We got a severe gas leak, and the timing might not be correct. What else did we miss? About it? Yeah. So anyway, we gotta do a few little tune-up things before we move on to the rest of the bike. So there's what it looks like. So we're gonna jack up the bike and check the front brake first thing, and see if there's a drag in that. Too much light out here, I can't even see. I'm not used to this bright stuff out here in the sky.
That bright light in the sky?
Yeah, that bright light in the sky. Hey, how come your bike doesn't fit under here? Okay, light down. Test out that side stand of yours. Hey, it's fast. Didn't fall over yet. It's a lot of drag.
Well, here's something else that I just thought of while you're here.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten cotter pins into those
This is pretty loose.
crown nuts.
This is loose. You can tie the bearing maybe. Crown nuts and what?
On the axle.
Yeah, what about them?
I haven't gotten cotter keys through them. I don't think they're tight enough.
Maybe you're pinching the hub, that's why it's so tight. Give me another half a crank on that. Drag. So this should stay put. It's pretty loose. The dampener, definitely hold it. So I think you have a dampener on already. The dampener is on. What's your dampener not working?
I don't know.
That's not a good steering damper. Well, the first problem is, see that thing right there?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be up in that hole right there.
Really?
That makes it work.
Oh, that's how it works?
This is your dampener. See how the dampener's dampening right now?
Okay. So how does it get up in that hole?
Now you got to pull the front fender off. See, that's the dampener right there. It's friction dampener all up under here.
So it's upside down?
Yes.
Oh.
This is supposed to be inside that groove up under there. So
Okay. I get
light on?
that.
Yeah, light's on.
Yeah.
Yeah, then the front end one's flop so bad.
Okay.
And how much drag did you put on these bearings when you put them in?
I didn't crank them.
It doesn't feel like there's much on it. Let's pull a bit on that cable quite a bit too. Yeah, so this got to be upside down, but you can't pull this out without the wheel and fender have to come off.
Wheel and the fender.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the rod has to drop down from way
All
up
the way
here.
up. Yeah.
It's got to come down a foot. It's got to come down here. So there's no way of getting around that.
Okay.
But yeah, you got to flip this over so it goes up inside of there, then the damper will work. There's also a notch in the front. Looks like you got that piece in there correctly. Watch your head. See this tab right here in the front?
Yeah.
That goes up in the fork. So is it up in, is it actually engaged? You're not really engaged into that very well either.
Well, that, I mean, if I turn it over.
Now that tab there is supposed to be.
That's something else.
That's supposed to be up in the fork tab.
Okay, is that supposed to be on first?
The parts book would tell you which way it goes. Right now your spring tension's not even being pulled up, even though we moved this lever up here. So this isn't even moving anything. This rod's not moving when I move this lever up here.
Yeah.
Even though it feels like it's getting tighter, it's not doing anything down here. It's not moving this here. And you got the spring in there. You do have this tab engaged, that's correct. Because you got three tabs. You got that tab, You got that tab that goes to the fork,
Uh-huh.
and this tab goes to the frame.
Goes in the frame. I wondered what that hole in the frame
This tab here goes to the rod. So all of them things tie together, and then when you work it, this clutch friction material in there has to do its thing.
Yeah.
And that's where the friction comes from, your drag. So that needs to be all figured out. So I don't know why the center bolt in there, that big long hollow stud thing that this attaches to, screws up and down in the fork. It's a thread, and that's what pulls the rod up. As you rotate this, it turns that big nut basically and moves it up the thread inside the fork stem. Now for some reason yours is not moving correctly. I don't know what the deal is. I can see it moving, but it's not. If you look at the rod down here,
Yeah, it's not tightening it up.
it's not moving it.
No.
So I don't know if the rod's bottomed out inside the fork stem there. You know, all that stuff's supposed to be moving up and down freely, so it doesn't. So it works.
Okay.
So you got to pull the wheel off, the front fender off, and then pull all that out. And I'd readjust the bearings up in here, make sure there's a little drag on them. The fork is supposed to have a little bit of drag when it falls, and right now I feel no drag. So you want to have a little bit of tension on it, not a lot, but a little bit. So usually you put it where when the fork is centered, like right here, it won't fall until you get about to this point here. Then it'll fall. But it'll have a little bit of drag when it falls. It won't just be a dead drop like that. Because those bearings will pound in a little bit pretty quickly and get loose, and then you'll have clearance in your front fork, and that starts causing problems. So, what's your tag for? I'm telling you, put the steering damper in?
No, it came, yeah. No, that came from Buchanan.
Oh. Are you going to keep it on there forever?
No, I just never took it off.
All right, I'll pull it off. No reason to be on there now. Okay, so now we're going to look at the front brake down here. So you got to take this all apart anyway, but let's go ahead and take a look at the brake. So this has a brake cam in it right here. Over here.
Yeah.
Pivot. It's a pivot, not a cam. It's a pivot. Probably use a socket on that thing. Oh, that's 9/16. And it's a big bike. 5/8. Okay, so what you do is you loosen that up. So that's the pivot between the two brake shoes. So you let that float. So you go like that. See how the wheel not quit dragging? Okay, now pull the brake on and hold it. You tighten the pivot up. Okay, let go.
Oh yeah. A little freer.
Now it's centered more. If you hold it off the ground, it looks better. Still a little drag, but it works. And the brake has almost no action, which is not uncommon. You have to burn the brakes in to make them work right. All right, we'll be right back.